Solafide Ohada accounting. What if I told you that 70% of small businesses in French-speaking Africa struggle with accounting compliance because existing solutions like Search Accounting, QuickBooks, Odoo, and many others don't understand Ohada regulations? Enter Solafide Accounting, the first AI-powered accounting software specifically built for Ohada member countries. And again, unlike generic accounting tools, we speak the language of Ohada when it comes to accounting. Now, what problem are we solving? For small businesses across countries like Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, and the rest of the 17 member or some of the 17 member countries of Ohada, compliance remains a nightmare. Generic accounting softwares don't follow Ohada charts of account, nor do they have the Ohada compliance report that is needed. And so many business using the QuickBooks, the Search Accounting, the Odoos, the web often rely on Excel for their activities. And the challenge with this, which I would like to use a simple experience, is that once they keep preparing their reports, at the time when they want to transform this report for tax declaration and many compliance issues, that report or the data needs to be transferred to Microsoft Excel, where they basically have to do what? To reformat in order for it to. And so this problem results in business owners, accountants, and many others spending a lot of time rather than growing their business. And it comes with a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges, as there are errors, time is wasted. And so, Solafide accounting was built for Ohada and built for the rest of African countries. And so the first thing about the Solafide Ohada is that it is native Ohada compliance. Now, it comes with all the preloaded charts of account, the 9 classes that Ohada has, and automatic Ohada financial statements are generated with built-in tax calculations for local tax compliance. And with this, it makes it so easy for anybody who is using this system to work, and you can work without any difficulty. Now, the system is flexible, it's easy, and we have even 3 different ways that you can record your transactions. I will see whether you're an accountant, a non-accountant, or you want to rely on AI to do your recordings, you will see that this is a perfect software. And also, it gives businesses complete control of whatever they do, invoice generation and management of their clients, management of their suppliers, tracking of their inventory, customer supplies, and many others. And you can equally use it offline and online. Multiple access, multiple companies can be created. And so it is just not only accounting, but it is a complete business management solution that we have. And so in order for you to set up the Ohada, it is very easy, and I will demonstrate in this exercise. The first thing is that you need to create an account. So you have to create an account, log into solafide.tech and choose the online, and you'll be presented with an interface like this, what I have here. Now, if you have an account, you just have to fill in. Maybe if you don't have an account, you need to create an account if you are creating for the first time. But since I have an account, I will just sign in and we'll see how it works. So now, that's it. I already have an account, so I'll just log in into the system and I'm good to go. Now, when the system opens, it gives you, like we said, one thing about the Solafide system is that you can use it in English, you can use it in French. So making language not to be a barrier. You can use it offline, you can use it online. And even when there is no internet, our objective, which we are working to see that working in a low internet zone, you should be able to still work. And when internet comes on, your data synchronizes automatically without any issue to solve the internet challenge. And this is the system. So right now I'm within the system and it gives me room to create my own entity. So I have several entities, which means if you're a consultant, you can manage one businesses in a single software. You don't need multiple softwares or multiple files. Just one file will be okay. So let's create an entity by clicking on new entity. And we just say, let's call the entity, we just give a name. In order not to waste our time, to go straight, you have to create the entity, you fill in the entity name, the taxpayer's number, with the address, which all other relevant information. And here you have to choose it fiscal year. We're using the harder format, it starts from January to December. So by default, that one is selected. You can always attach the logo of the company so that invoices come with their logo. And so you can always attach the logo and you choose Aqua for business that is based on Aqua method. As an accountant, you understand. And you can take create, let's say ABC. Let me just create it since we're here. And we give the tax number, just anything, just for the sake of this exercise. So we have our entity here created. Once you open your entity, I will just go vividly. We open it. Now, like we said, it gives room for, you can add different users with different role-based restriction. Maybe you have cashiers, you have accountants, you have inventory managers. And so when the system opens, you see that we have the entity dashboard, gives you an overall of the business and a good place to see what is happening to your business. The next is management. Under management, we have cost, suppliers, customers, bank. The idea of management in Solafide is that it handles third party, often called in business third parties, which are like those external parties dealing, customers, suppliers, banks, entity, maybe, and CRM. CRM is a module that helps us to track our customers. So you can, when you are prospecting, you put your information there. So it also has that customer relationship functionality, which we may not go into the details of that. And you can equally create, if you want to create a customer or a supplier, you just come and you add. Or if you already have maybe your customers list or your supplier list in an Excel sheet, you have to come and fill in the information here for you to be able to do whatever you want to do. And so it's as easy as that. So you can create that without any difficulty. So I create a customer or you import a customer and you see that it works seamlessly. So next we have invoices. So my internet is a bit slow this afternoon. So you can create a customer by giving the customer name, ABC, LSA. So we give, if you have the taxpayers, you have to give the contact, the tax regime, the country, and whether the customer is active or not. Maybe you want to put a number here. You can put the contact information and everything that you put there. And you take save and new or save and exit, save when you want to you save that information. So you have a supplier, a similar procedure holds for customers. And if you don't want to specify a customer, then what you notice is that now you see that we have a default customers, especially for customer who just come in to buy cash automatically and go. This is especially for places like supermarket and the rest. You can create your different banks. Maybe you have multiple banks. You have the possibility to create. You can always transfer money between bank and your cash and so on. It helps in automatically tracking every finances. Now under sales, we have invoices, we have receipts, we have credit notes. And so under invoices, it gives you the possibility for you to create your invoice. And so, but before you create an invoice, it's good that you create a product. So products are created under catalogs. We have products, services, business expenses, inventory, items, unit of measurement categories. So we'll just take one of the products as well as you can import. If you click on import, they also give you the possibility for you to import whatever you are importing. So If I want to create a new customer, I put a new product. I give the product, let's say we are selling water. We're selling uh, superman water. We measure in, check. If you don't have the unit of measurement, you have the possibility to create the one that you want. Maybe let's just say we measure in barrels and we buy for 300 francs or 3,000 and sell at 4,000 francs. And so category, I'll just choose anyone here for now so that we don't have to waste time, but you can create the categories and even delete what is here. Let's say others. The minimum that you want to have, maybe you want to have at least 10, and maximum should be 50. And currently you have 40 within your stock. And so if you are setting up your system for the first time, you will have the accounts that will be affected. Now, this is because of the automation of the system. There's a lot of we have automated a lot of things. While you are recording in your the process I'm showing is the non-accounting the non-accounting method where you come in, you want to use the system without going through the standard accounts. You just record your transactions. Once ever you buy and sell, this accounting is done behind the scene to make it easier. So if I save it now, so I've created that. And so I have one product. I could always change. I can delete. I can review details and so on and so forth. Business services, expenses, and the rest can equally be created. Now, that being said, if we go to under inventory, you can see that you can track the movement of inventory from when you order it, transit, and you can always recount whenever you have new stock. And so because of what we did, if you come here, you see that we have the water that we added, 40 in stock. This is the value. This is the unit price and so on. As we are selling, this will be reducing and it is fully available. When it's getting low, you have notification, and when you're out of stock, you see that will be indicated, right? And you can always check for low products and auto reorder. So it gives you that possibility and you can filter. So that is a system. We can also recount. We have stock transactions. Stock transactions basically is a fast way of entering products in the system without going through the purchase method. And also it also works when maybe there's an issue, maybe a product is stolen or it's expired and so on. We must not, and you want to remove it in the system. You use stock transaction. You can add a new stock when you just want to do it in a fast way. You just have to search maybe water, and the water that we have. I start searching, it comes up here. And how many do I need to add? If I want to add, maybe let me add 10 again. And so if I click that, I can add. I can also click this to add more. And it gives you that possibility to take save. And so when you save it, now the ask you, have you paid for or you are still to? If you are paid for, you need to. Now this is to track whether you have credit custom, you have things to pay your payables or your receivables. So here, let's say we have paid, it's 30,000 francs and we paid 20,000. So 20,000, I save and continue. This is just to ensure that whatever you are doing, the accounting part works seamlessly. So if we go back now to our dashboard, you see that we have this in our dashboard giving us this. So our assets and our liabilities, which they must be balanced. And so it gives us, we can now sell because we have a product, we can go to our invoice and it gives us the possibility, our invoice. If we're selling on credit, you take credit invoice. If we are selling cash, you take cash sale. And credit invoice tracks the transaction over time. So you may want to, a business has different ships. You can specify the ships. So you're selling in cash. Now we have only cash because we have not indicated the other payment methods. So I can come here and say water. Basically say water, which is what I have in stock. They give me how many quantity I have. I want to sell 5 and I'm selling 5. In case I'm working and somebody comes here, I can just take Control S, Shift S to suspend that transaction. Or maybe I discover that there's something I don't know. And if I want to go back there, I just click and I click on it and that transaction is load back. I can continue from here in there. So we have save and new save and exit, save and print. And at this particular point, we can save and let's say save and exit. Save and exit here give us a possibility. For instance, if I come now here, what I will notice is that I can preview this transaction. If I export it, something new happens. So if I export it, you're able to see this is the invoice. So you're able to see, I hope that you should be able to see this. We have a new invoice, our pro forma invoice, giving us the issue date, the time, who issued it, its address date, and the company issuing to who it has been issued. This is just a pro forma. And so it's not a final. And if it is review, you can review it or a higher authority reviews. You can do this if you're a salesperson, you do it, your authority, your boss, or you negotiate with a client, you can be reviewed and improved, you can edit. So mark as we have reviewed, we can approve it. So once it has been approved, it becomes now, if we export it now, we'll not see pro forma, we'll see by invoice, which means the accounting system start tracking that money has been at least acknowledged. And so this is the accounting that we say is done behind the scene. And so without having any knowledge of accounting transactions, this takes place and you are able to work with it without any issue. As the quantities are reducing, your accounting is being done, your finances are, your general ledger is produced, your cash ledger, everything is being affected, and so on and so forth. And you see that the status keep changing and changing as you work. And so once that has been done, we can now move on. We are done with that transaction and money can be received. So you go back to the transaction, you can receive money. So that is one of the ways. This is the known accounting approach. And so the next approach is using the accounting method, which normally that's where we ought to have started. But then under the accounting method, what we do is that it gives us the possibility to be able to, here we have our chart of account. By default, we have loaded some important accounts, which are very, very important. So we have some few accounts that have been loaded as default. You can delete, you can add, you can modify, or you come and add your own chart of account. So you can add your own chart of account. And away from that, you have the possibility now to record your transaction. If I just click on new transaction, it gives me that possibility. Now, under these accounting methods, what happens is that it gives us two possibilities. We can record our accounting by normal doing your debit credit approach, or we use AI. And so we'll start by doing our normal debit credit approach. Then we'll come back to AI. You can create a new journal, maybe sales journal, cash journal, or whatever journal you want. Or if I just click new journal, then because the system uses a centralized method without necessarily creating, everything will still take into account. I have to come maybe specify the date, and so I can check the account that needs to be affected, maybe my local bank, how much maybe save money. Let me just give an example in the bank. And I'm not an accounting, so I'm not using the principle of accounting. Just put, let's say, we say 90,000 and the money came from cash. So just to say, or cash in hand. And so once that is this done, it is balanced. You see that it gets to zero. You can save and exit. And so you see that I do not need to type, or I can use the chat. Also, if I just type by the account code this, you see that all I go with the name advert. If I start typing advert, you see the list of accounts that are coming up, just to show you that a lot has been done so that you don't need to go through the stress, save, exit, import, and so on. You have it. Once this has been done, it's automatically posted. Now that's the first method. The second method is using AI. And with the AI approach, what happens is that you use your natural language to, so we bought water or 20 cartons, or let's say we bought 20 liters of water from Supermon at 50,000 francs CFA, paid 20,000 using cash. paid paid 15,000 francs via bank, maybe NFC bank, just as an example, and the rest is left. So that is my narration. I say let AI process. This is a beta version. We're still working on it to improve it at this particular thing it is concerned. Let's see what happens altogether. So after AI reviews that, this is our transaction here. And it says purchase of water from Spemo, 50,000 cash payment, this is and that. If you take process, if you take proceed from here, now this information is presented to you exact way that you ought to have recorded it here. And this is what has been done. This is the journal approach that we ought to do ourselves. And what you see here is that we have the local bank, there's NSC bank, and all of this, and that is balanced. In case it's not balanced, you see so, and everything is done accordingly, and you can save and exit. So that is another way of of recording transactions in the natural language approach. You can import multiple transactions. Still here, there's room for you to import multiple transactions or to upload. And when you upload a process, it could be in the Excel format, it could be Microsoft, CSV, and minimum file types are coming in. Maybe if you want to import even receipts and the rest, once we import even receipts, the system should be able to analyze and help you with the process. So that is how the journal section functions, just briefly. And also you can specify your tax rates, or you want to define tax rate and closing. At the end of the period, you can come and close your chart of account. At the end of the year, financial year, closing entries are done. We may not go into that for now. And so that is how you are expected to work at this stage. So that being said, the next thing after this is our reports. So we can move on to our reports. Here we have reports. We are still working on many reports. We have your day book, which just tracks all activities that happen within the day, like what we have done today. These are our transactions that we have done. And we can always export it to Excel or, yeah. We have also our dayboard. The dayboard is more informative and more narrative, and it gives you, it's more a dashboard, total revenue for the day, total expenses for the day, profit and loss for what we have done so far. We have unpaid invoices. It gives you the amount, total number of invoices issued. You go to aspect of purchases that we have done. This is because we brought in some stock, and we equally have cash analysis, cash that came in, cash that went out, all of that. We're working on this, and you'll be able to have some great results. So that being said, the next thing, still under reports, we have different reports. We have the trial balance based on what we have done. The trial balance automatically produced using the other format or the three or four. We have the 6-column trial balance, and everything is according to expectation. Apart from the trial balance, we have the unaudited financial statement, that is a balance sheet, and it follows again the other standards. And if it is balanced, that is the expectation. Everything must be balanced according to the regulations. And so that is how it works. And so apart from that, you can get your income statement just by doing what we have done. Income statement is produced, and you see our income statement based on the activities that the system. We have other reports that are linked to where maybe it's sales summary, item sales, purchases, and the rest. All of these are reports within the system. And here we have administration. Here you can specify information about the organization. Maybe you want to fill in details that you did not fill during creation, you can do it. We want to see preferences. Here you can come in, you want to change the currency symbol, you want to bring in signature for invoices, you want to make some notes on invoices. You want that they should notify when you want to purchase above the maximum fine. Always validate user when creating an invoice. This is especially for some pharmacies. They want that anytime you want to create an invoice. Those are some features. You want to add users. You can add users by clicking. You specify and choose a role: accountant, cashier, inventory manager, receptionist, and many others. It's possible you can invite if the person is already within the system. You can manage shift. You can manage subscription. For instance, here, these are expired subscriptions. You can add a new subscription. So in sum, that is not all we have. If you check with what we have been doing, you'll discover that there is also an icon here. Let me show it. I haven't shown the AI that we have seen within. There is more that we're working on, which is the AI. If you click here, what happens is that you load a completely AI-powered system. And this is the AI-powered system that gives you the possibility to upload your report or upload your documents, and your financial statements are automatically produced. You want to get standard, you want to specify the currency, you want to define a lot of workflows, automate other things, specify. It gives you that possibility. And so let's just give a, let me just take us back. We can upload your documents as we have said, or you want to chat. If you upload your document, you want to chat with it, you can ask questions. Let me just say, what is accounting? Just, or what is OHADA accounting? And we can interact. The objective of this AI is that once you bring in your report, you can ask questions. What are my sales for this day? What are my profits? Can you analyze my data, my document, my reports, and make recommendations whether to do this whatsoever? And our big idea is that we'll be able to populate a list of questions that people can use to query their financial information and much more. So you can see that we're still, this is work in progress. This is just a beta version. What is OHADA? OHADA, again, if you see here, it says that harmonization of business law is still reading. That's why it's not yet. Yes, harmonization of business law in Africa, and key characteristics: geographical, it covers 17 African countries like Senegal, Cameroon. Purpose is standardized business process across its member country. Languages, primarily French and maybe English. And it has a system of accounting based on the French system of accounting. And so it goes, has different charts of account and so on and so forth. That is how the system works. So you go to reports, exit income statement. You want to get income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. With this, you must not be a user. You must not have your data within the Solafide system. Whatever part of the world you are, the system tries to also help you to input your data. So that being said, I think that is how we see it with Solafide. And apart from this, there are other demos that we are already working, but they are not part of this system, which is the human resource, the payroll, and the budgeting, which will be available very soon for early users to go through the system. So thank you as we have gone through this. And to know more about Solafide, you can go to solafide.tech, SOLAFID.tech, and you'll read more about Solafide, as well as you can create an account and test it for yourself. So join us as we empower businesses across Africa and making digitalization a reality in the African business landscape. See you next time. Like, subscribe for this video so that you'll be notified of more content whenever we share it.